Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Harry Muppet, and we're going to be getting back into the ASUS ROG Summer Semi-Final Tournament 2013 Semi-Final. Game number 2 between HyuN and San. HyuN, our blue Zerg player, up the top left side of the map. And San, our red Protoss player, down the bottom right side of the map. And I tell you what, man, I had all sorts of awesome comments that I said about these guys in the start of game 2, but I was actually casting game 1 again. I accidentally loaded game 1 again, and yeah, so it's a bit of a mistake there. I probably shouldn't advertise that I made the mistake, but whatever, we're just going to run with it. And yeah, I'm comparing San and Alicia to some degree. San, of course, is this player right here. And Alicia is the one of the other Protoss players who is facing off against Tasia in the semi-final. And both players, as I was saying, have really solid end game strategies versus their respective opponents. I mean, San has a really good end game strategy versus Zerg. Alicia has a very good end game strategy versus Happy, and they're both just so strong. But you got to have a little bit more than that sometimes to be able to make it work. And I hope he's not going for an expansion at that point. He's like, yeah, actually we don't have enough money, so not good for him. But yeah, I don't know what he was doing. Maybe just scouting for a drone or something. But yeah, as I was saying, man, I mean, Alicia had that beautiful strategy. It was Storm plus Colossus plus Zealot Harass. And it just worked so well. Once he got into the 20-30 minute mark of the game, he just got it, and he just did it beautifully over and over again. He had that strategy totally under his belt. He totally owned Happy with it. He'd only owned Tasia in 2 games with it. And the other 3 games that Tasia won to go into the grand final, he just didn't let Alicia get that tech up. He just knocked him out nice and early. And because that tactic was just so strong, he had no choice. And San, and the thing with Alicia was, he didn't handle being hit nice and early very well. I mean, if he got hit nice and early, he'd do the minimum he needed to hold it off, and he'd still keep going for his tech. His tech would always be a priority, even when he was getting dropped and Hellions were going in about him. He'd hold it off. He'd do stuff to save himself, but he'd still go for the Templar Archives. He'd still go for the robotics facility. And what Tasia would do is he'd go in, he'd hit him hard, give him a little bit of break, and then he'd hit him hard again. And he'd do like 3 or 4 times, and eventually Alicia just crumbled. And Alicia was still going for that high tech, and I think that, yeah, he just didn't adjust that well to getting hit really hard constantly in the very early game. He was a very much a late game centric player. Now San, you might start thinking the same thing about him, because he has an extremely good late game as well. He had a Colossus plus Void Rays versus Zerg, Roach Hydra Corruptor. It was absolutely phenomenal, and these guys are having a bit of fun. I don't know why they sound so weird, but these Lings, man, they sound a bit weird. And there we go, cancel it. He's just gonna build another one over there. That's a big old FU to the Zerg player, and he loves his proxy pylon, man. It's actually, I was casting the first game twice, and I was like, hey, you're on the same map. Hey, he's building the pylon in the same position. Hey, I think I'm casting the same game again. So yeah, a bit unfortunate. Mothership Core gonna try and save this. I don't know if he'll be able to though, but the Zealots are gonna try and help. Oh, it's gonna be close, but I don't know if it's even worth trying to save it, man, because the Zerg knows it's there now. It's gonna be taken out. Boom, there it goes. And HyuN once again going for very early Ling Harass. He really likes his very early Ling Harass, and I thought maybe he would have learned his lesson from last game, because this is what San did last game, and this is why I think he's not one of those pure late game players who doesn't know how to deal with early game. Like I'm sort of insinuating that Alicia is. I'm not gonna I don't want to piss Alicia off. But anyway, there we go. San, last game, instead of just going for the late game, instead of teching out for the late game, he got these Zealots out nice and early, attacked the 3rd base, And then after that, he transitioned into a 6 gate. And because HyuN just had Lings at this point, he was forced to build a ton of Lings to take care of this stuff. He did not have his Roach Tech out fast enough. And San went into the 6 gate. And yeah, HyuN was only just starting to get out his Roach Tech at that point. And he just could not deal with it because he had to build so many Lings to see off those Zealots. And we're in exactly the same position. I mean, once again, he saved his third base from the Zealots. Once again, he had to build a crap load of Lings to deal with it. And once again, his Roach Warren is going to be quite delayed, only starting at about the 8-minute mark. But San is not going for what he did last time. He's not going for a fast 6 gate. He's going for a Stargate instead. He's building a Phoenix. So that's going to be interesting. I feel like you may have seen this though. I feel like... has he seen this? He's seen the hallucinated oracle. He thinks it's a real oracle, so that's why he's building a spores. Man, what are you doing, San? What are you doing? I gotta say that's a little bit of a fail on San's part, because if he hadn't sent out that hallucinated oracle, then I mean HyuN would not have put out the spore crawlers so early. So you could have got a little bit of stuff. I suppose it's a moot point because the Phoenix would have attacked all of the overlords doing the scouting, and that would have shown that he had Stargate tech, so he would have got the spore crawlers anyway. But here we go. San looks like he wants to go for late tech right now. It looks like he wants to go for late game tech. We can see he's got his Void Rays out. Does he have a robotics facility? I don't think so, but I would not be surprised to see the Colossus coming out at some point in the very, very near future. Here we go. Phoenix doing a bit of a scout. Hallucinated Phoenix going to be going in for another bit of a scout. And what have we got going on for HyuN? He's already got the Hydralisk Den out. And yes, he's going to be doing an awesome stuff with his Roach Hydra. And the question is, if San does go for his ultimate PvZ strategy, which is Void Rays and Colossus, will HyuN be able to do anything about it? That's the question. I mean, Hydras are going to get owned by the Colossus. Corruptors are going to get owned by the Void Rays. It's got to be Infestor tech, man. It's got to be Infestors on the Void Rays and wipe them out with the Hydras or wipe them out with the Corruptor flank. I do not know. I do not know, but I'm feeling like Infestors are perhaps the only hope that that HyuN has of dealing with that awesome strategy if San goes for it. We know he's going for Void Rays. It may just be Void Rays plus ground though, which is, you know, it's still pretty awesome. Because versus Roach Hydra, man, those Roaches are going to be owned. And here we go, a lot of Zealots going in, but a very fair amount of Hydras coming in. So he's not going for Roach Hydra, he's going for Ling Hydra. And Ling Hydra are going to be quite scary versus this Force, man. Quite scary. He is not going to be any good at dealing with the Ling Hydra. Phoenix going in, gets shot in the ass, that's not good. Ling's coming out, and the Pylon is going to be taken out, so that is not good. It's not a good day to be a Pylon in the Protoss army. Three Void Rays total coming out, but Void Rays are going to be a bit of a liability so far, man, because they're so beefy, they're not going to be able to do much, they cost a lot, and they're going to be shredded by the Hydras, so I don't know if it's even worth him putting him in his main army anymore, just because they're going to be so useless and they're going to die so quickly. He really needs something beefier to hit the Void Rays with, and so far he doesn't have it. And there we go, the Infestor's coming down, so HyuN looking like he's in a great position to take this game out, and he's got the 4th base down as well. San has got his 3rd. If you have a look at the income, 81 to 66, man, HyuN is doing all the right things in this game, whether on purpose or just accidentally, but I really, really like what he's doing, and I think when he maxes out, he's going to move in. And I don't know about San's chances of dealing with this. He is getting him Archons though, and I really, really like this choice. Archons are going to be a lot beefier. They're going to be able to deal with the Lings and the Hydras quite well. They're going to provide a buffer, so the Hydras have something to shoot. Does he have Zealot legs? That's the interesting question. He does have Zealot legs, so that's another notch in his hat, or feather in his gun, or whatever it is. So yeah, he should be. He's definitely got a better chance now with the Archons, with the Zealot speed. I feel like he's going to be possibly. Oh, look at this, man. The Ling is just pushing this army one way or the other. He's got to get back here. He's got to get back here. They're going for the rocks instead of for the base, man. HyuN, what are you doing? Go for the base straight away. You're giving his reinforcements time to get in there. What are you doing? Oh, he's going to back off now. Is he going to engage? And the Protoss army is right here. Is he going to engage? It looks like he is going to engage, man. Force field's going down. The Archons getting into the Hydra lines. And, oh, it is just brutal, man. Absolutely brutal. Archons just so bad. So bad, and by so bad, I mean they're just so good at destroying Hydras and Lings. That was just nasty, man. Really, really nasty. And Hydras, I mean, the direct counter for Hydras is, of course, Colossus, but Sand showing that Archons are pretty damn good as well. And his Void Rays, I mean, if all the Archons and Zealots on the field, the Void Rays, of course, are not going to be a primary focus for the Hydras. They've got other things to deal with. And yeah, now that we've got the Hydras out, the base defenses are just going to be shredded. Absolutely shredded. And all these Roaches, man. I think Immortals are armored as well, so they're going to be shredded. That's not good. But Fungals on the Void Ray forces. Are we going to see it? Are we going to see the Fungals going down the Void Ray force? He's just dealing with the Archons first. One Archon, two Archons go down. A bunch more Archons coming up, but they're starting to get shredded by the extreme amount of Hydras. Void Rays starting to attack the Hydras, but I don't know about this. Fungals going down on the Void Rays, and the Hydras are going to go to work. The Archons all go down. Or just at the last second, man. The Zealots at the front, I think, is all that's keeping HyuN from wrecking this force. And there we go. The Zealots starting to go down. And the Void Rays are looking very, very beat up. The Archons is only one left. And, oh, look at this attack from Sand, though. Moving in with the Zealots. It seems like no matter who you're facing, sending in Zealots in the side door to attack your opponent is always a good sign. Especially when they go for workers. Look at this Viper, man. What the hell is he going to do with a Viper? I really don't know. Maybe he's still expecting Colossus to come out. This Archon is still alive. He's got 4 kills. That is not as much as he could have. And HyuN chasing this away. He's starting to get a very decent amount of forces. The Archons are just proving to be such a pain in the ass, though. When he's moving up here, where are you going? There is nothing over there to hit. He's got a vendetta against this Ling, man. That is what he's got. And this pylon over here, he was hoping to warp in some Zealots, but not quite. He saves the pylon. Is he going to keep moving on? There's no base over there, and he is going to hit your base before you hit his base. You've got to get back. There he goes, moving back. But this army is so slow, man. And I just don't know, man. I just don't know. I would have hoped that maybe HyuN would be trying out for a bunch of Ling rushes into bases, but I guess he needs that supply for a Roach Hydra Infester, and so far he's doing a pretty good job, man. But the Zealots constantly keeping him on the back foot, constantly, and it's just not good, man. I feel like he could do something a little bit better, because he's got phenomenal creep spread, absolutely phenomenal. And I mean the Warp Prism, so he can definitely see those Zealots coming. You can definitely see him coming. Oh, Roach versus Zealot, man. I think the Roach will win, though, because he can just keep burrowing. Oh, no. Oh, I just managed to save it. That poor Roach. Look at this Warp Prism, a whole bunch of Zealots. He's not even using their speed till they get to the workers, but they are going to be attacking the Lings. And a fungal on these guys, not going to be pretty. Oh, they're not even fungling them, man. They're beneath the fungal's notice. The Infestors, I don't know what the Infestors are doing, man, but they're actually getting hit. Holy crumbany. That guy nearly got killed. That was a bit of a fail. Yeah, look at this. He's not actually morphing these guys into Archons. He's feeling like Storm is the answer to Roach Hydra, and he is not wrong, because Storm's on the Hydras, man. Devastating. Absolutely devastating. Oh, beautiful position. Fungal on the Void Rays, Fungal on the Void Rays. He did not get it, and the Void Rays managed to duck back a little bit, and just, oh, so awesome, man. Does the Fungal go through the thingamabob? I don't think it does, man. Oh, that pylon. There was a High Templar trapped, so that was not good. Once again, Zealot's coming in here, man. Just, oh, but look. Oh, does the Zerg know about this base? He does now. He's moving in. Oh, but the Storm, that High Templar, man, what a hero. And he's going to get flanked on the backside. The Infestors are way open, man. Way open. And feedback going down on the Infestors. Oh, that is so bad. That is so bad for HyuN, man. He just got totally owned in the back door right there by Sand. His Infestors were so exposed, it's not even funny. And what a loss for HyuN there. That may be a game-ending loss. And it was just a beautiful position, man. He was not watching his flank. He was not anticipating the Protoss would come up here, but the Protoss, phenomenal timing. Whether it was luck or skill, that was phenomenal timing. Just getting in there, and the Infestors were so exposed, and they all died, and it's just so bad, so bad. He's building a ton of units, though. He's banked up a ton of minerals, but I feel like with a lot of those being Lings, it's just not going to work. I feel like Sand has the momentum now. He's going to make it work, and he's just going to go in there and just start ripping bases apart. And here we go. Queen's coming out. And this is actually a lot. He needs to get those Void Rays on the Broodlords ASAP. Like right the hell now. There we go. Void Rays going down. Probably doesn't need Tempers. Just Void Rays are going to be able to do it. And the Broodlords going down. The Ground Army really getting torn apart, but the Archons still holding their own just barely. And moving in. And this Archons are starting to hit Hydras, and you know that's a bad point when the Archons are hitting the Hydras, and they're just, oh, this is just a slaughterhouse, man. Absolute carnage from those Archons, man. There's just tenderized meat all over the place. And yeah, really, really good job there from Sam. I mean, I really thought HyuN had a very, very decent shot at actually taking that game away, man. The Void Rays were giving him a little bit of problems. The Archons were giving him a lot of problems. But I feel like he was pushing through. He did some great Infestor work. And he was really doing a good job. But this attack right here, man, he got flanked so bad. It was just bad. I mean, this attempt, this going through here, this ramp had a big target on it to attack his forces, man. And he maybe should have gone in here, a little bit safer. But then again, the Void Rays could have gone on the top shelf and started attacking him from there. So that's bad as well. But, oh, not watching his flank. And the Infestors, man, they were all out by themselves. The main force was down here attacking the base. The Infestors were all out by themselves. And Sand just completely obliterated those Infestors, man. And after that, the force was just could not survive by itself. So there we go. Just HyuN doing a great job. But a bit of bad luck, a bit of bad tactical movements over here, I think just lost him the game. And there we go, Sand continuing on 2-0 in this series, and HyuN really, really struggling to get some wins in here, to really get some stuff going on. And we know that he struggled quite a bit versus Stardust, only winning 3-2. But yeah, we will have to see. We will have to see if HyuN can come back. It's going to be very, very hard for him to come back. But yeah, if anybody can do it, it's going to be HyuN, man. He knows that he belongs in that grand final. He's been in grand finals before, and he's won a fair few of them. So he knows he can do it. And of course, Tasia versus HyuN, man, it is going to be completely off the ball if it happens. But Sand is proving to be a very, 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 very awesome player, and getting past him is going to take every single bit of HyuN's skill, and even then it might not be enough. Sand may just push it on and maybe even take it 3-0 and move on to the grand final. And wouldn't that be something, man? Sand beating HyuN 3-0. Oh, it's just awesome. So anyway, moving on, game number 3 coming up. We will see what happens when we cast that game, so stay tuned for that. This has been HyuNMuppet. I hope you enjoyed this game.